Now that we have our basic structure built into this document, what we're going to do is we're going to think about what are the elements that are going to be used in multiple pages. And essentially, we're going to build the beginning of a template. So in this lab, we're going to actually create 3 different documents, and they're going to have the same structure. They're going to have the same information in different parts. The header will be basically the same. The nav will be the same. The main body will be different on each of them, and the footer will be the same. So what we want to do is we want to go through and we want to add those elements now, so that instead of having to recode the document for the other pages, that we'll be able to use this as a template for that code. So this is where we'll start moving towards where you'll need to individualize some of the content that as we're going along. So in here I've got an H1 of CSS Intro Lab. What I'd like you to do is to add a H2 with your name in it. Now make sure you do the opening and closing tags. And after you do that, now I have to click the refresh button so that shows up over in the display, but or you can just click over here. So I've put the H2. You'll notice that they're slightly different fonts because the H2 uses a smaller font. We'll go into more about that later. Now navigation, what we want to do is I want to add a list, an unordered list for the navigation. And so what I want to do is I want to add UL, means unordered list. Unordered list is a bulleted list rather than a numbered list. If I wanted to do a numbered list, then I would have done a OL, which is an ordered list. So the way that I like to code is I like to go ahead and add the closing tags at the same time I create the opening tags. The other thing that I like to do is I like to indent my code. So these things sit within the nav, this unordered list, and so I like to indent that. Some software will automatically indent the stuff for you. Either way, that's a human readable thing. It makes it easier for humans to read this. So within an unordered list, you've got the UL tag, but then you have to have the items that go into that unordered list. That's called a list item, and the code for that is LI. And again, I like to do my opening and closing. We'll just say document 1 is the name of the link that's going to go there, and then I want to do another LI for document 2 and document 3. And you notice how I go in and clean up those extra spaces, just because while they may not look like much in code, they can actually affect the way things behave when you don't realize that space is there and it's adding a space. See, now you'll notice this time I didn't do the closing LI. It really comes down to what is it that you prefer, because as you go through the habit of coding, you'll learn little tips and idiosyncrasies about how you want to do it. So there I've got my the result of my list item, unordered list, so it gives me dots instead of numbers. Now if I wanted that to be an ordered list, a numbered list, I would have done a OL instead of a LI, or I mean instead of a UL, and that would have given me numbered. So that's the difference in that. The internal structure within that list is the same, but the difference between ordered and unordered list determines whether it's going to have numbers or bullets over there. Okay, so that's inside of our nav element. We've got document 1, document 2, document 3. Later on we will add code to those to make those hyperlink to the different pages that we are going to do. This section that is where the main body is going to be, we're going to leave that for this moment, except that what I want to do, because we've been calling this the main body, I want to give it an ID of main body. And the format for that is ID equals quotation marks, and then I'm going to just do main body and then the closed quotation marks. Now that is a property of section. So it isn't in its own tags, but it sits within the opening tag for this section, and it identifies it as a main body. Now, just briefly, the reason I use ID means that you use an ID when there's only going to be one instance of that type of element in the page. So we're going to add the main body there, and then for the footer, what I want you to do is go ahead and put your name, copyrighted by your name, and maybe your email address. So go ahead and add that information now. What I want to do is I'm going to use an H3 here. And what I want to do is I want to use the copyright symbol. And then a space, and then my name. And you'll see that because I used that special character there, ampersand copy semicolon, it puts the copyright symbol. So that's one of those special characters that you'll need to learn about as you're going through. There's certain kinds of things where there's those special characters in there. So I've got my name, or my name as an H3. Then what I want to do is I want to put my email address. I'm just going to put that in a paragraph, and later on we'll look at how to turn that into a hyperlink so that they can automatically click it. So what that does is brings in this basic information. Let's go ahead and add that copyright in the link in the next video, and then we'll go on from there.